أعوذ
Yeah.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. Just to recapitulate, during last discussions we had discussed that Bismillah, the recitation or the formulation, the practice of saying Bismillah is called Basmallah. When we say Bismillah, that is with the Ism of Allah, then Ism of Allah includes all the Asma'ul Husna. And it also includes, as the belief of the believer, if he has the faith, he has the belief that he is invoking with the Ismul Azam, bi Ism Allah, as it includes all the Asma'ul Husna. He's invoking with his Ismul Azam. And another connotation is that he is invoking with the personal name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's making appeal to his person. He's not making just appeal to a designation, to a title, to anything, but he is making an appeal in person to the person in his personal name, in the magnanimity of the name which is personal to him, Bi-Ism Allah, and nobody else has this name, which has no plural, which has no root, which has no other connotation. If this is the faith. And then we had also seen that it has also the connotation when one is initiating anything with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim as a matter of mannerism, as a matter of culture, as a matter of personal character. He is invoking or he is initiating in the name of Allah, bi-iznillah. So it has the connotation, it includes the connotation of bi-izn Allah, with the izn of Allah. And also it has the connotation that he's initiating the work not only in the name of the Creator, not only in the name of the one who can listen, who can accept, who can give, who can help all along, but he is the Lord. Bi-ismi Rabbika. Bi-ismi Rabbika is included, Bi-iznillah is included, all Asma'ul Husna are included, and the personal appeal is included. So these were some of the points which we had seen till last time when we discussed it. Now we are going further from here, and we will also look into the other aspects which are included in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And we had also discussed that why ar-Rahman has also been, ar-Rahim has also been mentioned with ar-Rahman. It should be recited consciously, not just unintentionally, not without any attention or intention, because the deed, not only according to the Islamic concept or the Quranic concept, but psychologically, the deed depends upon the intention, and its quality depends upon the attention. So if these two things are missing, it means it's not consciously invoked. And then comes the question of sincerity. That sincerely as a supplication. It's a sincere supplication from the core of heart. One thing is very noteworthy. We must note that the Quran starts with invocation, with supplication, which is the kernel, which is the crux of all prayer. Supplication to God is the crux of all prayer, all worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ask me, talk to me, come to me, iktarib, and talk to me. It is the crux that it starts with supplication, and Quran ends with, as its arrangement is, it ends with a supplication. Surah 114. Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasil khannas. A'udhu. Kul a'udhu. The last two surah are called Muwazzatain. Quran starts with supplication, the crux of worship, and it ends with, in its arrangement, it completes its course with Muwazzatain, Auz. So we'll also discuss this along with Auz and with other aspects. It should be recited consciously and sincerely as a supplication. Supplication knowingly by faith. That is my faith. That is, I'm making supplication to God by starting this with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With the faith that it helps ward off evil. When I will say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it will bring me to Him, bring me near to Him, and He will be there not only to help in the course of my action, in the work which I've initiated, the project which I've started, but He will also ward off evil. He will ward off all interference, all viral interference, all viruses, any virus which gets into me, into my brain. He will ward off evil of my intention and of my deed. Ward off evil all the way. When we say Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, when we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it's not just we are seeking, asking somebody to show me where the place is and he points just from a distance that it is in this direction and now then you are left to you. But here the intention is, sincerely the intention is, and my faith is, I'm asking for help to ward off evil, to guide me all along till destination, till my success, all the way. So all the way in the undertaking, in the project, which I've started, anything I've started eating, and I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There was a friend of mine, he became Chief Secretary of Sindh also. His father was taking meal. Everything was ready before him. He took the loaf. He took his hand to the mouth. The loaf touched his lips. The loaf, he opened the mouth. The loaf was almost inside the mouth, but it fell down. He collapsed, he died. One doesn't have even that much power. All the way in the undertaking, because the very consciousness of Allah will impel to keep away from associating the Most High Exalted Allah with any evil action or intention or even any wrong idea for invocation or intercession. What does this mean? It means the purity of intention and action, and purity in the invocation. Now, this purity brings also the purity in the deed, in the course of action, and in the achievement. All the success, its consequences. Whoever recommends for a good cause will have the reward thereof, and whoever recommends for an evil cause will have a share in its burden. When we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it means that for our own self, ourselves, we are not recommending anything which is evil. We are recommending for ourselves something which is good. We can't recommend for ourselves anything which is bad. We can't say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim on a bad thing for ourselves. So it is by philosophy included in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim that with our intention, we have started the discussion with intention, attention. That with all my intention, which is pure, and it is pure in its thought and in its action, up to the consequence, up to the result. And during all this process, evil will be warded off by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I've initiated in his name. There are ayat on this. I'm not repeating those. The another aspect is it creates the right attitude of mind, focuses, brings energies together psychologically. If we are saying it intentionally, my emphasis from right from the beginning is intention and action. Intention in the action, intention in the idea. It creates the right attitude of mind. It focuses the energies of thought, energies of action, enabling to consider options. When I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it means if there are more than one options, I should choose the right one by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. By saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, I can't go for the wrong one. I should not go for the wrong one. Enabling to consider options and choose the right one in the right direction. Wind blows. The difference between the wind and the air is that air is oxygen and nitrogen. But what is wind? Wind is the action. It has a direction. Wind cannot be described without action. It is a movement. We cannot describe sun unless we describe its movement, its motion. If it is still, it's not a sun. Where it will become cold. Then it's finished. So the right direction, when we say any action, it means we are referring to any movement, and the movement must always be with a direction. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim has many connotations. The other one is it focuses attention at the aim. Why I am saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim? I want to drive. I want to reach a certain destination. This is another connotation. It focuses attention on the aim and the right option. I have selected the right option. I'm going by the car with the right course, in the right lane, in the right direction, on the right side, without wasting efforts and energies unnecessarily in wrong direction. If we have the faith in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, if you understand the philosophy of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and if you are saying it intentionally with all these things, Allah turns to man when he turns to him. If it is with this intention and in this way, Allah turns, Allah responds. Allah turns to him. These are the ayat. I'm not repeating the ayat. Allah's help and blessings protect from temptations and deviations. If I have said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim with intention, and there is an occasion where there's a temptation, I can take money, I can put it in my pocket instead of the drawer. It will not allow me. If I have said it consciously, Bismillah, Allah is with me, He is guiding me, He can't guide me wrongly. I have taken His protection. So many connotations included in this. There is ihsan, there is another aspect of invocation in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, that you are seeing Allah, Allah is seeing you, He is with you, that is why you are asking Him. There is an element of ihsan. There is ihsan, He is seeing me, I am seeing Him. It will protect me from temptations and deviations, right from initiation till accomplishment, and also from later consequences of the initiative, because I have started in the name of Allah, who has all along been with me, who is with me. And then the protection, we will discuss it separately also with an protection here and protection hereafter. All our actions in this world, fit dunya, are for hasana, should be for hasana, should be intended for hasana, with the ultimate intention of hereafter. And nothing goes without being recorded. So when we are saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, we are seeking protection. Why we are seeking protection? Why we don't want to go wrong? Why we don't want to do anything wrong? because we have fil akhirat in mind. This is my earning era. This is the era of my earning. This is the period of my earning here, so that I get something on retirement hereafter. That's my retirement. That's my social security. Faith is strengthened that the result is from Allah alone. When I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, I'm refreshing my faith. I'm clicking to refresh it. That everything, every result, since it is from Allah, so I will start in His name. I will seek His guidance all along till I reach the destination. Result is from Allah. That is why I'm saying Bismillah, Bismillah. Even if there are challenges on the way, He is with me. He will solve them, and the course will become easy, and success will become sure. If I start with Bismillah, it depends upon my faith. Bismillah. Now, seeking refuge from seeking, before seeking support. There is another aspect. Although it is included that we are seeking protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. But in one specific case, particularly in one specific case, and then in other instances which are also pointed out in Quran, but in one specific instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that when we start reading Quran, start with Auzu Billah. That there are ayat, I'll just point out to them. I will not go into details because that's another subject, but one has to seek refuge before seeking support in Bismillah in certain cases where it is prescribed, otherwise it is included. But there are certain specific occasions where Auzu Billah Minash Shaitanir Rajim or Auzu Billah, just Auzu Billah, Inni ustu bi Rabbi, just Inni ustu bi Rabbi is prescribed. Bismillah and Istaza, that is Auz Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Why? In computer terminology, for example, just as an explanation, I'm trying to explain. Virus is a program which can attach itself with other computer programs. And almost similarly, the hacker, Shaitan, from Shatan, whom we cannot see, from a distance, from a place where we cannot see him. He has access to our mind. Quran says that it has access to our mind. And for example, in computer, the hacker gets access to the computer, to the core of the computer, and he can place a virus. And it is capable of spreading by replicating itself. This is the definition. This is the explanation, or you can say just the idea of virus. What is a virus? It is essential that one dedicates all his thoughts and deeds to the power, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has control of everything in this universe, to give success and save from any undesirable, interfering and counteracting effects. This is what the hacker does. That is what the shaitan does. Undesirable, interfering and counteracting effects. Shaitan does not take anybody from hand and takes him to the evil. Shaitan attaches the virus, and then the man starts thinking the same way as that virus program, the program which has been attached to the mental program, to the program of the brain. It starts working as its own program. Undesirable, interfering and counteracting effects of the virus. So why we are saying Auz Billah and why we are saying Bismillah? Before and besides seeking support with Bismillah, it is always better to come under the protective custody of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You put antivirus. As soon as now it is now inbuilt in the computer, as soon as you open it, the latest updates are there to protect you from the virus. the virus of the day, the new virus version has come today. So the computer must protect you from that if you are connected, if you are online, if you have Wi-Fi. Similarly, if you are connected, it means if you have consciousness of God and you seek protection, you are in the custody of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inni ustu bi Rabbi. This shows the level of faith. Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, they challenged the tyrannical rule that you call your armies, do whatever you want. I'm alone standing before you. You can't do anything to me because inni usturabi, I have already taken protection. I'm in the custody of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't do anything. In the legal system, when you give somebody, when the judge writes that now I'm giving this person, this accused, who is in custody, I'm giving his custody, I'm giving his judicial custody. Then the police cannot touch him, although he is with the police. But this world, he is under judicial custody, nobody can harm him. They will send him to jail, they will not take him to the police station, they will not put him in the lockup because he is in judicial custody. When one surrenders to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and places oneself in his custody, inni ustu bi Rabbi, Pharaoh couldn't do anything. Even if Nimrud tried, but he could not do any harm to Ibrahim. Nuh alayhi salam was not harmed. Inni ustu bi Rabbi. So that all affecting, interacting, I'm repeating, and counteracting forces, because this is very much in nature, that there are forces, even if they are not satanic forces, even if these are not Satan, if it is not from the shaitan, but there are variables. This world is composed of variables. So they can be affecting, they can be interacting, they can be counteracting. We are driving on the road. I'll show one hadith also. It's not always Satan. And it should not be attributed to Satan where it attributes power to the Satan. It should not be attributed to Satan. We are living in a world of cause and effect. I'll show that hadith also as we go further. Affecting, interacting, and counteracting forces. Who can save us from these things? It's not only for shaitan. It is for all the affecting, interacting, and counteracting forces that we are seeking the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And seeking support, for seeking refuge, for seeking support, for seeking support, for seeking success. And these are the ayah surah, you already know that, and nobody can then interfere. Therefore, it has been prescribed to seek refuge through invocation in the name of Allah, Rabb. And this is the ayat that when you recite, seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are many other ayat also. This is the hadith to which I was referring. And then there's another hadith which it will follow, it will come. It has been reported that when the Prophet, peace be upon him, would stand up in prayer at night, takbir, after takbir supplication, he would then say, I seek refuge with Allah. The hearing, the knowing from the cursed Satan, from his caution, lures to arrogance and poem, to any tempting melody or any tempting stanza, any tempting music, anything which has a metri. Poem has a metri, and metri may appeal to the rhythm. It may create a rhythm. There may be no words, but even the rhythm, it may lure. So but the Prophet, peace be upon him, is seeking protection from lure, from arrogance, and from any temptation, from any rhythmic, which may come with rhythm. There are many traditions about the Prophet seeking refuge. Again, and there is another, it has been reported in another reporting, that a person who was riding behind the Prophet, peace be upon him, the Prophet's animal tripped. So that person said, cursed be Shaitan. And the Prophet didn't like it. Shaitan doesn't have this power to trip my horse. Shaitan doesn't have the power to cause any accident against me. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, do not say this. Cursed Shaitan, for if you say these words, then Satan becomes arrogant and says, with my strength I made him fall. Although he has no strength, he has no power, he cannot take me from my hand to do something. He interferes through the intention. He interferes through the thought process because it has access to the mental process. He's made of microwave. Min marijim min nar. When you say Bismillah, Satan will become as small as a fly. Ibn Kasir has explained this. So don't attribute any power, any physical power to the Satan. We are living in the physical world. We are responsible for our physical actions. It is not Satan. It is we. We have to understand this point. When Pharaoh threatened him, Moses, peace be upon him, with full confidence, and I have explained that, he said, in Ustu bi Rabbi, I have taken refuge with my Lord. You do whatever you want to do. I've explained that already, so I'm not going into those details here. In fact, same strength of faith is required in the invocation through Bismillahir Rahmaanir Rahim. Same strength of faith. So basically, in any invocation, it is the strength of the faith. It is the strength coming from the belief that protects from Allah, that provides protection. And invocations of 113 and 114 also. Now, some of different aspects of Auzubillah. It's not just one, I'll not explain. But in every ayat, it's not the same aspect. There are different aspects. I'm not going into these details. I brought only some of them because here the subject is not the discussion on Mu'awwazatayn or Auzu Rahman or Auzu Billah, but I'm just pointing out there are different aspects of seeking refuge. If we have faith, we read all these ayat of istaza, then we will know that what it means. The ultimate is that in the Ustu Rabbi, if it is in my faith, if it is in my faith, in my belief, that yes, when I have said Auzubillah, it means I have now come in the protection, under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now don't worry about anything. It's my faith, my belief. Then yes, it is there. But if I am wavering, I don't have faith, then it doesn't matter. Quran begins Surah 1 and ends Surah 114 on supplications and invocations to Allah. I already said. The Quran teaches a lot of supplications of general or common nature and for specific individual needs also. But here, it's also not the subject of discussion that we are discussing just an invocation or supplication. We are discussing Bismillahir Rahmaanir Rahim. Scientists believe that for every action, there is a reaction. And every effect has a cause. These two things. And this is what Quran says. Whatever is your kasab, Allah is Sari'ul Hisab, it is being recorded in real time. It will be counted. And it has a cause. There was something which caused, you caused it, you thought about it, or something else caused, triggered it, there's a cause, and vice versa. Nothing, howsoever small it may be, moves without its effect in the universe. This is what the scientists say. I've explained this in my book, Know Your God, also. This is what the scientists believe, and this is what the Quran says. Thought process and actions do not take place in isolation, they are interconnected. There are innumerable interacting and even counteracting. We don't count these things. They're not only interacting, but there are counteracting forces. Ma min sharri ma khalaq. It includes these things, interacting and counteracting, both. Min sharri ma khalaq. For every move in real and physical terms. That is why we need Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim for every step. We say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim once, but includes all steps till the end, and include the consequences. Look at the enormous environmental and cosmic activity. We can't have a grasp of that. Just by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and saying with faith, we seek our general insurance. We seek cover for everything. There are different types of insurances. This is a general insurance. That when we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, or we say Auz Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, or we just only say Auz Billah, we just say Auz Bi Rabbi, or we only say Inni Ustu Bi Rabbi. Inni Ustu Rabbi has more faith. It has more belief, element of belief. In this process, there are countless effects and implications all around in the environment for the human beings, collective and individually. I can't count them separately. Therefore, I take general insurance, all-purpose insurance. Within man's own fold, there are many social and other interactive forces, and Allah knows them. When He provides protection, He provides protection from all. This statement, in fact, is too general and very simple. By saying this, I cannot cover the entire meaning, all the meaning of the aspects which are covered in the invocation to Allah. This is a very simple statement that is a general insurance. It's general, but it's very simple. But it has more details, which we are not discussing. At a smaller scale, for example, just for the sake of explanation, we may take the body field. There is an electromagnetic field for everybody, to everybody. For a body field and the brainwave activity. There is a body field and there is a brainwave activity. Saturn interferes through the brainwave activity. It appears to be in this sphere of activity that the Saturn, the scorching microwave creature, Marij min nar, he is the hacker. Quran says it has access to your mind, your thinking process, which inflicts man's B-male. If I'm allowed to call it B-male, that is the brain male. Any brain male coming, it interferes like a hacker with its virus and remains hidden, remote, shatan, remote and hidden, like computer hackers who watch and bewitch our emails while we can't see or feel them. Similarly, Saturn interferes with our B-male, our brain male. The personal computer operator, as a person, I seek security from the service provider, from the computer provider. Similarly, we have to seek protection from our own maker, who has made us. And these are certain invocations. I'm not explaining those. I'm just going through in order to complete it quickly and come to the other. Now, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. and Shah of Allah. I hope, inshallah, Allah willing, we'll take up next week. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzat amma yasifuna wa salamun alal mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت. اللهم ادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اخرجنا من ظلمات الجهل والوهم إلى نور العلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون احسنه. اللهم اوزعنا ان نشكر نعمتك التي انعمت علينا وعلى والدينا وان نعمل صالحا ترضاه. اللهم اصلح لنا في ذريتنا انا تبنا اليك واننا من المسلمين. Oh Allah, spread your mercy upon us, shower us with your blessings, increase our knowledge, grant us forgiveness, and reward us with the company of the prophets in the Firdaus al-A'la. O Allah, forgive our parents and all our friends and relatives who have passed away. O Allah, grant them your mercy. Make their graves a garden from heaven and grant them the Firdaus al-A'la. O Allah, we have many of our friends and relatives who are sick. O Allah, we have our son Ma'raj and our daughter Aisha Wani and several others. O Allah, grant to all of them full and speed recovery. O Allah, guide our children, protect them, and make them righteous. O Allah, grant us the power and the ability that we may be grateful for the favor that you have bestowed upon us and our parent, and that we may do righteous deeds that are pleasing to you. O Allah, we seek from you all of the good, whether we know it or we don't. And we seek your refuge from all evil, whether we know it or we don't. O Allah, we ask you every name you have elected for yourself, that none of us leave this gathering, but his pains have been relieved, his worries have been removed, his debts have been paid, his weaknesses have been concealed, his sins have been forgiven, and his needs have been fulfilled. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.